Because we got a surprise flash mob.
What is this,
More than musicals. Oh, speaking of, let's go over why we started the podcast. Let's let the people know.
Drinking on the job. Strike one.
Strike one. How many does Moses get?
Heaps. Yeah. Yeah, we've got it. Actually, we do have a sponsor coming on board, hopefully next week.
Okay.
I won't say the name just in case. But
Okay.
it's a personal favourite of mine.
One I know?
Mm-hmm.
More than muscle. We got to pay Moses for his time. All right, let's get into it. Actually, before we start, let's quickly go over why we started the podcast, because I have no idea what it looks like. You're the guy to ask.
Yeah, this is just a little summer project. I just wanted to see if I could get microphones.
Oh, it's not a winter project?
Yeah, there's absolutely nowhere to go from here. No, we decided to start this podcast, and not to put ourselves on a platform or on a pedestal whatsoever. It's to showcase all the skills and the personalities and the vibrant characters and whatnot of gym goers and the more than muscle community online.
Very small community at that.
Hey, it's growing. And I guess for years and years, bodybuilders have never really had a voice to show off their, very flamboyant personalities and skills.
They've never had a voice? Never had a platform to...
Sure.
Never?
Ever.
Okay.
Until right now.
This is it. We're giving him that opportunity.
Yeah, so you could call us philanthropists.
Mm-hmm.
And we've decided to make this show about them, about the community, by I guess segmenting this podcast into 3 different sections. The first one being an Ask Anything platform where they can go online and submit any question that they want answered.
Again.
Of course, fountain of knowledge between the two of us.
Again, this isn't a chance for us to showcase any of our knowledge.
Nothing about us whatsoever. The second one is Critique My Physique, where anyone can go online and submit a photo or video of themselves and essentially receive some very honest feedback, which I know you're all looking forward to. Yeah,
keep in mind, this is going to be the first time I'm getting to see these videos and photos.
So I've collated.
So you're going to get a very, very honest opinion.
And lastly, we've got the very, very prestigious Mr. More Than Muscle monthly bodybuilding competition. Which just rolls off the tongue.
Well, that's what I was going to say. It's a mouthful, but it just
slips right out.
Whoops.
Yeah,
there
like
it is.
Oil from a vase. And essentially, I'm going to put together 6 competitors, if you will, 6 gladiators, and we're going to judge them on screen. Anyone could submit. It's not just about, this isn't your cliche bodybuilding competition. This isn't just about the canvas, what people say on the outside. We're not interested as much in that. We're interested...
Almost completely disinterested in how you look. But send your videos in.
We're interested in the personalities beneath. Again, there's just so many wonderful characters hidden in every gym. And each month, we're going to pick a winner. They're going to get a prize of the month and go into...
So we judge.
If there's any disputes, Moses
we hand it over to Moses. Keep in mind, Moses is our cameraman and tech guy.
Yeah.
He has...
Highly qualified.
highly qualified judge. I think just as qualified as any bodybuilding judge today.
Yeah, I think more so.
Mm-hmm.
I've judged a lot of people in my life. I judge people every day, actually.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's all the qualifications I was about to ask. Have you ever judged anyone?
Well, it's, I judge people every interaction I have with them. I judge it. But it's all in preparation for this. Monthly.
You knew this was coming. Yeah. That's
This
weird because I didn't tell
role
Moses.
of a lifetime.
I didn't tell Moses about this competition, and
Oh, really?
he's been judging people his entire life.
Wow. Just subconsciously knowing there was some reason.
There's a reason I'm doing this.
Yeah. I'll be I guess the final boss,
Hmm.
the grandmaster.
Yeah, I'm like a medium method actor.
Yeah. You've committed to the role.
Yeah.
I like it.
So what do you reckon? We get into it?
Let's get into it.
Awesome.
It's one way to drink coffee. We're going to be here a while.
And make it last. All right. Segment 1, ask anything.
Oh, we're really getting into it.
Yeah, straight into it. Okay.
So, Moses, you've picked out what you think
Are the most interesting, worthwhile questions.
Ask me anything, provided it's bodybuilding related.
It doesn't have to be.
No, but the most interesting topics always are.
Because that's where the...
Yeah.
What do we call them? That's where the
If
bright
we're not
stars
talking
shine
about
through.
feathered quads, I'm falling asleep.
I know. Dude, if I'm not talking about another guy's butt cheeks... How long was they out?
Oh man, so hard to feign interest at family Christmas. Gosh, can't you guys talk
what
about
are we
bench
up to?
press?
Yeah. I just made CEOs.
Yeah.
What do you bench?
Yeah.
What do you bench?
What are you actually doing productive?
Like my 7-year-old niece.
Hmm.
She cares about Aladdin, the live action movie, and the soundtrack to Frozen 2. Shut up.
No hope.
As soon as I bring up feathered quads, she's lost interest.
What?
I'm not going to connect with her.
Is she a bit?
Yeah, there's something wrong.
What's up?
You okay?
I'm so happy I don't understand half of the phrases you guys. I don't know what a feathered quad is.
No, you do.
Come on.
I don't know
Don't play
what
dumb.
I don't know what a feathered quad is. Actually, just have a guess. If you heard that phrase in a conversation,
Somebody's
Don't mind me.
tickling you on the leg. They're tickling your legs.
close.
Feathered quad.
Show us your feathered quad.
So a quad is it's a part of your leg, right?
How's Moses gonna have a look? He'll be right. He'll be fine.
Yeah, it's a part of your leg, the quad, under the bum, right?
Ooh, opposite side of the leg.
Above the knee.
Yeah.
So if it's feathered, it would be shredded.
Yeah.
It's like
That's
cockney
it.
rhyming slang.
Yeah.
But shredded. Feathered.
I'm sure that's how it started.
There's more than one way to skin a cat, and that's a good way to figure out bodybuilding slang.
Am I right?
You are
Yeah,
right.
you're right.
Yeah.
Spot on.
Yeah, you are right.
Yeah.
Feather is just another.
Yeah.
You could have feathered anything.
Yeah, I guess.
Kind of, yeah, but it kind of does look like a feather. But you're not wrong.
Yeah, you don't win any prizes.
Sorry.
Question 1.
Is from Rodolfo. And look, my apologies if I've incorrectly pronounced any of these names.
Rodolfo
But
from
the
Netherlands.
text is tiny.
Sorry.
Thanks, Brocky. Rodolfo. All right.
Train your eyes.
I know.
You want me to read it?
No, that's okay. I'll read the first question. I'm transitioning.
Scary.
It's a tough topic. That's not a question. There's more.
Congratulations, Rodolfo. We love hearing that.
We support
Next.
you. No, this is a more serious transition
Yeah.
from. Well, that's the thing. Look, you can transition from boy to girl, from human to cat, whatever it is you want.
But if you want to make it a little more difficult, you
Yeah.
transition from powerlifting to
I
bodybuilding.
know, that's the most serious of transitions. The other
Yeah.
stuff is like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah,
Just,
see it every day.
it's commonplace
It's
now.
almost a hobby.
But when someone transitions from powerlifting to bodybuilding, as
Yeah.
you would probably know,
The
Moses,
media really wake up.
as Moses would know,
Yeah,
someone
very
who has
contentious.
who has nothing to do with the bodybuilding industry, but just based off the expression I wish you guys could see He was like, whoa, you're kidding me, right? Someone actually did that?
We're not touching on this subject, are we?
Yeah.
We are. I'm going to read it out to you guys.
Over Caitlyn Jenner. The golfers in the house.
He asks, I'm transitioning from, I think the first sentence is a statement. I'm transitioning from powerlifting to bodybuilding. So, the loss of strength is very noticeable. I don't know why. But now I find myself lost in the perfect rep scheme and form. So, sounds good.
Sounds ideal.
I'm seeing green. What would be the best way to approach the differences that come with this change? I think you've answered your own question. You've found, this is what I'm just reading this. You found the perfect rep range.
Yeah, and form.
Well, rep scheme and form.
Yeah, it's really is the ideal situation. It sounds like he's really answered his own question.
Yeah. He's gone from powerlifting, which obviously to him was really vague, because it wasn't the perfect rep scheme. Now he's found it.
Now he's found it.
Congratulations. Next question.
Okay, moving on.
Brock, do you want to read out the next one?
Who have we got next?
Patrick Bateman, apparently.
Bateman. Definitely the alter ego. Okay. Patrick says, I know the importance of a good natural tan for bodybuilding. Actually, I wanted to ask this one. A good natural tan for bodybuilding and how important vitamin D is for the body. But whenever I go out to lay in the sun in the summer, my mum gets real mad at me, telling me I'm going to get skin cancer. Can you guys go into detail about your sunbathing routine? Is it safe? Do you use sunscreen? How long do you tan? Do you do it nude? Thanks, PB. And I
That's
wanted
so
to
funny.
ask because of... Is that camera going to pick up your arm?
Well, I'll put it into it.
Because this is new and you started telling me about
it. It kind of looks like we've pissed his question off. We're going to talk about my bandage. Pretty cool, huh? What did that dude ask? Look, I just wanted to show off me bandage. Next question.
You started telling me about this before.
Yeah. I'm going to get to it in a second. But I actually found that question really interesting. Okay. That's like, I could have asked that. I always wanted... The thing was, when I started bodybuilding, there were no guys out there like tanning naturally and stuff. It was just pale year round. And even the pros today, unless they have a high amount of melanin, already, unless they're already like sort of naturally tanned or, African American, whatever it might be, unless they're already dark, they'll pale year round, fake tan. That's it. That was their process. Fake tan on the day of the competition. So no one was naturally tanned. And that's the kind of question I would have asked when I started bodybuilding or started getting into like wanting to recreate that golden era image, because they were all naturally tanned and they were quite dark. And I went through the exact same process of laying out, like when I started tanning, I was so pale. Maybe we'll get an image up. A little comparison, that would be funny, of how pale I was. I was so pale, and I just thought like everyone else did that was really pale. That's it. You're really pale. You're just going to go in the sun. You're going to get burnt, and then the process is going to repeat itself. But it wasn't until I read that and saw a photo of Arnold when he was quite young, and he did look quite pale. I think this is maybe when he was living in Germany, in Munich. So he would have been still like late teens, 19 or 20 or something. And he looked quite pale. I thought that's a considerable difference to the 1980 Arnold I saw when he's come back. So I read that Arnold would lay in the sun consistently. So it wasn't just, go to the beach every second Saturday and roast yourself, peel and do it all over again. He'd lay in the sun every day. And I thought, that's an interesting way of looking at it. I guess you got to do that. If you're going to train every day, if you're going to work on everything else every day, why not tan every day? If you could, if the sun was out. So that's what I started doing. And he said, this was just a theory of his, I guess. I don't know if there was any science behind it backing up, but I can definitely shed some light on it being true. He said you need at least 10 to 14 days of consistent sun to then potentially change or increase the amount of melanin in your skin and change your pigmentation. You can actually, I don't know if that's true.
Michael Jackson.
Yeah. Yeah. You can change your pigmentation opposite Michael Jackson.
Yeah. And it really does sound, when you started doing it and you were encouraging me to, it sounded like the most tedious thing to, and it kind of is in a way, because you're already spending so much time at the gym or in the kitchen, and to add another thing you have to try and do every single day.
Yeah, I know it is. That's the thing. You really have to be committed to it.
And start with 10 minutes.
Yeah, that's right. If you're as pale as I was, if you're very fair-skinned and you're susceptible to burning, especially in the Australian sun, if it's especially summer, wherever it is you are, 10 minutes aside, you're kind of like a rotisserie chicken, okay? So, rotate. Don't just lay on the one side. Try and cover all areas, but just
But you recently got your 2-hour certificate, didn't you?
Yeah, well, that's the thing now. Maybe not now. Like when I was at my darkest, I was laying in the sun, middle of summer, 45-degree Celsius days. I don't know what that is, Fahrenheit. I would be still laying out there for hours. And I think I had just reached my limit, maybe.
Hence the
battle scars.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this... Sorry, before I touch on this...
Stop flexing.
Before I touch on this, I do want to say that that's exactly what I had to go through. When I was living at home, when I first started tanning, I think I was early 20s or something. I was still living at home, and I'd lay on the driveway. Like I said, middle of summer, still committing to it. It was boiling hot, concrete driveway. I'd lay a towel down. I'd lay 10 towels down. You could still feel the heat coming up through your back. It felt like you were laying on flames or hot coals, And I'd have my mum screaming from the window. I heard the window, I had my eyes shut, just trying to get some sort of enjoyment out of it, almost meditate while I was out there. Especially back then, you didn't have music playing at your phone and stuff. So my mum yelling at me from the window, do something productive, get a 9 to 5. You're slowly killing yourself. You're going to look like a leather bag. Don't you know how bad this is for you? You're going to get cancer, all the rest of it. I was about to say jokes on you, Mum, but I'm not saying I do have cancer. So that's what leads me to now this. So I had, I was kind of pressured by family and friends, pressured to go get my skin checked after they saw a freckle change right before their very eyes, apparently.
It did. It was mutating hour by hour.
Yeah, it winked at you.
Yeah. Yeah.
You've changed.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. It's kind of jiggling side
to side. Just
side.
Developed a sassy side.
Seductively.
You'll never get this. Anyway, so they thought, I know my body better than anyone. They thought it had changed. I did finally. This is the only time I've ever got my skin checked at 28 years of age. And I don't know if it was the guy was just really enthusiastic, was really unenthusiastic about his job, or it was being truthful. He said, looks like there's nothing to worry about. But if you are concerned, just get it cut out. And I said, okay, well, but I want to train. I want to keep training. I don't want there to be some massive chunk of skin taken out that's going to prevent me from training. He goes, no, it should be fine. It's very small. It's going to be a couple of stitches. Shouldn't be, there shouldn't be too much healing time. So that was Monday. I spoke to him. It's now Friday. I went back today to get it cut out. And the circle he originally drew around it was then 10-fold the original size. So it was massive. I thought, well, that's not what you said. Now it's going to take 7 or 8 stitches. That's not what he said Monday. I let him do it anyway. And then he tells me afterward, so you're going to have 2 to 3 weeks off training.
Yeah. It's a real gotcha.
He got me.
Classic prankster.
So we're going to find out the results next week to see if there's anything
stay tuned for that exciting announcement.
Cancerous about that freckle that didn't need to be removed.
Well, Patrick, I hope you enjoyed 30 minutes of Joel talking about himself.
Did we answer the question?
Enough.
Do you do
Oh, yeah.
I have, yeah.
Yeah.
I have.
I've done it when I know no one's home.
Right.
And
Really?
It's fun, yeah.
Right.
And I've never been burnt somehow.
No, actually.
This year's been a shocker for getting sun.
It's been bad.
Non-stop smoke, non-stop rain.
Yeah. Now the sun's come out.
Yeah.
I've had a couple of days where I was able to lay in the sun today. Moses walked in on me tanning.
I did.
You say walked in, walked out on me tanning.
Perused.
Walked out of the closet on you tanning. It wasn't you though.
You were super stiff,
Yeah.
super rigid in the
In the spine.
in the trunks.
We stood to attention.
So are there like nude bodybuilding competitions? 'Cause why would you do it nude if you're a bodybuilder?
Well, the only reason you tan nude is so that
I think if anyone's seeing
trunks
you
that-
nude, you want to show some consistency.
right. That's the reason, as well as not showing any pale skin, depending on the cut of your trunks. So if you're tanning outside in like underwear, and they're sort of thicker than your trunks are going to be, then you're going to end up with these horrendous tan lines.
And if you don't have a tan and you are going to compete, just wear long sleeves and jeans.
While you're competing.
Or while you're tanning.
No, competing.
Wear
So no one sees your pale skin.
Yeah.
What's next?
Well, we haven't answered
we
this
have.
question. How long did he ask? How long we tan for? How long I tan for? I guess
and
we
you
did like a
did.
couple of hours.
Yeah,
built
wait,
up to
10
it.
minutes to 2 hours.
About your sunbathing, do you use sunscreen?
No, I don't use sunscreen. Do you, Brocky? On your nose.
On my nose and lips.
How long do you tan?
Or I break out in herpes. Cold sore.
Shouldn't have kissed him.
Shouldn't have kissed the sun. You're too sun
Sucker.
kissed.
Yeah, that's what you get. I don't use sunscreen. I looked into sunscreen. It looks like that can cause cancer. I'm very dubious as to what chemicals are put into sunscreen. That's why I don't use it.
One thing you don't hear about is any bodybuilders from the 70s and 80s and whatnot getting skin cancer.
No.
Which is interesting.
And
And
they
they
got-
baked.
100%.
They went to town in the sun, but
Now, I'm not claiming to be an expert, but that is something I want to bring up. I just don't believe the sun, UVB rays exposure is the end all and be all of that's skin cancer. That doesn't equate to skin cancer. We're going to find out next week anyway about my results. But that's my belief.
cool. Read the next one.
All right, we got Lewis. Louis? Lewis. Okay, what tip could you give that made your physique go to the next level? I don't remember that happening. Where he's got well, let's answer the first question. What tip could I give? You know what's funny? It was kind of like what I stopped doing. Would you agree?
I don't know. I think we both have different experiences. My suggestion would be to play it cool. I remember when I went to the next level, my family took me out to dinner. They made a big show and dance about it. I woke up, there was, welcome to the next level, you made it.
You didn't remember much of the night before.
No, it was all a bit...
Strippers in the bed laying next to you.
Oh, no.
What happened?
That night, the night before, I was just level 1. It was pretty mundane.
Oh, right.
Yeah. And then, woke up to the next level. And
How did it feel when you woke up to the next level?
it was like this.
Show us again. Show the viewers at home.
And everyone's made a big song and dance about it. And took me out to, and of course you're sitting there in the restaurant and everyone's looking over. And so the guy at the next level, he looks next level. Look at those next level triceps. And I think it's just best just to play it off and be cool about it. Try and share the attention. Don't be an asshole about it. Sorry to cuss.
I did the opposite. I think I made it pretty damn obvious.
Yeah. Yeah.
For that I regret. I don't think we actually answered his question.
Anyway, let's go to the next one.
How did you make it obvious?
Yeah. Oh, you had that parade through Springwood that you funded yourself and you're still paying off.
Well, Actually, speaking of Mardi Gras, this weekend, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
For the life of anybody, they don't know how it started.
Mardi Gras started.
Mm-hmm. Remember what I said about going to the next level? Had something to do with that. So it makes a lot of sense. You're like, yeah, why is there so much glitter?
Because they're in the next level.
Uh-huh.
Now you're getting it.
Actually, Brock kind of looks a little bit like Edward Cullen when he walks through the streets and the sun hits him.
Yeah,
That's got nothing to do with going to the next level. He's just so pale. It's like translucent.
Give me time.
Mm.
And then second part of Louis' question. Where is he?
Where?
Were you afraid? I think we've got to give him a break. He's from Peru.
Okay, sorry.
Were you afraid of your real life friend's reaction when you first posted a fitness related picture on Instagram? Obviously, I'm not talking about their reaction to your giant chest.
It must be aimed at me. That couldn't sound more narcissistic. Because Brock's chest it's there. He's got a chest too. You know what's funny? I really did. I created a separate Instagram profile when I first started posting bodybuilding related pictures.
And they didn't have
And
it in there?
no, they had my head in, like I was showcasing myself head to toe, but I just didn't want any of my friends and family to see them. I was actually quite embarrassed. I remember Brock feeling the exact same way.
Oh, I still am. I'm still very... And
Well.
you can understand why when you flick through my page.
Yeah. Terrible physique. Why did you post that? I mean, we're all talking about it, so we may as well talk about it publicly on the line.
But yeah, to answer the question, I'm still embarrassed about it. I think I don't know. I think it's very normal. I think it's probably a good thing to be embarrassed, or at least hesitant to do it.
Yeah.
Don't you?
I think
If
so.
you're throwing up
like
pics of you left, right, and center, there's, I don't know. I find that questionable.
100%, especially if they're distasteful, if there's such a thing these days. But I can definitely resonate with that. I still feel it, but I didn't really start posting. I think you're in the same boat. We didn't start posting anything until we sort of got where we are now. There's no like, if I'm still not 100% comfortable, but much more so than say 5 years ago. I never would have posted a thing 5 years ago.
So why did you start posting the photos? Because you wanted to...
I did think truthfully, I did think, hey, I think I've reached a decent level, maybe a level decent enough, only because I was getting comments in the gym or from family and friends or, from complete strangers. That was enough for me to justify posting stuff publicly. I thought maybe it's just going to take the right person to come across my stuff and appreciate what I'm posting. But before then,
Yeah.
no.
So was that level a next level?
I would say so.
Maybe that's how you know.
That's how I knew.
Maybe that's how you. Yeah.
Yeah.
In the photos.
Hey, I'm ready to post a photo. I feel confident enough now. I think then you're at that next level. Yet to be identified. But it's a thing.
All right.
All right. Thanks for the questions, Louis. Louis?
Louis.
I'm still so confused. Vaughn. We've got a question coming in from Vaughn. Coming in. It's here. It's been printed. Why did you choose to opt for a more old school diet? High protein, moderate high fat, low carbs. I think Vaughn knows this personally. Versus a more current approach. Higher carbs, moderate to high protein, low to moderate carbs. Is it just for satisfaction? Wait. Sorry. I think he's confused himself. Current approach is higher carbs, moderate to high protein, low to moderate carbs. Fats?
I don't know.
Is it just for satisfaction, food preference, or primarily just for function? Thanks and more power. So you're requesting more power?
Mm.
I'm not sure how much power Von has.
Yeah, I think give him as much as he needs. But I think that for me, it's purely satisfaction. You don't know a feeling of satisfaction until you've had a high protein, moderate carbs diet, you know?
There was we never went, oh, here's all the diets. Let's pick the classic diet. Let's pick the old school diet. That wasn't it.
I think the approach is pretty standard. I think our diets, well, they're almost identical, really, a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And it kind of just came about.
Yeah. Well, obviously we did our research, but it's what I would call, foods provided to you by Mother Nature. So trying to avoid anything that's packaged. That includes dairy and, actually I would say all wheat products. That's probably the first two things I eliminate, dairy and wheat. And you'd find that you're eating a pretty moderate to low amount of carbohydrates anyway.
Yeah.
The options, it's not that they're limited, but it's like you can only have so much fruit. You can only have so much potato, sweet potato. I don't even eat rice, really.
Yeah. But having said that, you go through different stages. I think that's important. You don't just stick to an old school diet or a modern diet. You'll have higher carbs if you're trying to put on a bit more size, and then you'll drop them as you're trying to diet in for, to be leaner or for a show and whatnot. So, I don't know. I think it's a pretty standard approach.
Yeah, but to answer the questions, well, I don't know if it's really answering the question. We didn't choose that.
Yeah.
It's like what I consider to be healthiest.
Actually, I'd say if anything,
I feel best eating.
It's not really an old school diet if you think about it, because you hear a lot about the high fat content that they have. And it's not that we have
quite
low,
high fat.
but if anything, I have more carbs than fat.
Otherwise, same.
I am tooting from my bottom mouth day in, day out. It doesn't sit well with me. All right.
Was that his only question?
Yeah. Any zingers? Any good questions?
Any that I've chosen, hey?
You chose them all.
I like this one.
Who's it coming from?
I think it's from... Is it from Abby or Hellbent Josh?
No.
Is it the 6 questions?
It's the one under the 6 questions.
Oh, that's from Abby.
Yeah.
Abby?
Abby. I like this one.
From India. I like this one too. Ask away.
How you got big arms, Brock? Also, you are my idol. Thanks for motivating many like us.
Great question.
How's that a good question? Why? Is that a typo? Could you typo maybe an overkill? How you got big arms, Brock? That is actually a good question. I think it's a hypothetical question. I think it's a... That's one of... Hold on. That's one you liked, Moses. Why? Did you like it because you sensed the sarcasm in it?
Well, I liked it because of the syntax of the sentence.
That's why you liked it. I had a feeling it had nothing to do with the honesty behind the question.
How you got big arms?
Well, I guess you got to answer that question, Brock. You're the guy.
I think it's a very standard approach. I actually train biceps and triceps.
You train both?
Yeah, together they make an arm.
You don't neglect one or the other. Wow. There you go.
So that solves that mystery.
So the biceps and triceps, where are the uniceps?
Right? Right. Well, this question's for you, Brock. He was looking dead in your soul. No more drinking on the job, Moses. It's getting out of hand.
All right.
Next question. I like that one.
Let's do some quick fire questions.
All right. Let's go with Jared. The girls aren't Myron, only the boys. Am I doing it wrong or nah? Should I add more calf raises to fix that? Maybe more chest work. 6 foot. I can't. It's not. It doesn't end as a question. It's just this. 6 foot, 200 pounds, 15% body fat. Just to give you a rough idea.
It influences the answer though, right?
Is that him?
Completely changes. It transforms the question. 6 foot, 200 pound.
15% BF.
Just to give you a rough idea.
I'm actually struggling. I don't know if it's because it's late at night or
The
or
girls
that doesn't
aren't
make...
miring, only the boys.
I don't know. What's the question?
He wants to know if he should do more calf raises.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
Right.
Can't go wrong
Definitely.
with more.
But we don't do this for the approval of the girls. This is just for the boys.
We probably shouldn't have given that example question.
No, I
The
think
girl
it's
I like, but
legitimate.
she's not.
I think this is a question on everyone's tongue.
The girls aren't miring, only the boys.
Am I doing it wrong or not? No, you're doing it absolutely perfectly. Don't change a thing. That's what I'd say.
You know what? This has nothing to do with bodybuilding, this question. You know what it's about? Self-love. That's it. How you are? I love that. You know what? I read, this is what I read. 200 pounds. 6 foot. 15% body fat. That was a rough idea. But I've already fallen in love with the idea of Jared.
Mm-hmm.
Is he saying the girls aren't miring you guys, or the girls aren't miring him?
I'm still stuck on what the question is. I'm really confused. Looks like Brock just crossed that one out. We're going to have to come back to that. It's a tough one to answer.
Mm.
But thank you for the question.
Here's a good one. This is sent in from Bogdan from Serbia. Can you explain foot placement on a leg press and for the squat? I think if you're doing leg press, I think it's really important to have your feet on the platform. I'd get your feet involved, definitely. Place them on the leg press.
Do you ask, is it important?
No, can you explain it?
Maybe he's an amputee.
So that solved that one.
Next.
Next.
That solved it. I wasn't even sure what the question was.
What's next?
Quickfire. Mosey, you got one?
Alright, quick fire. David Peters from Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. At what point in your bodybuilding journey did you decide to remove your body hair?
This is for you.
I think it's for both of us. I don't remember. I don't remember when I decided that.
When you joined that wrestling competition in the oil pit.
I didn't want to give him any chance to grip onto me, to grab any hairs. That was super long back then. I can't remember when I decided to do that. I know it was many, many, many years ago. I think before I really got into bodybuilding. I think I've always hated body hair. I could be wrong. I don't know.
But I'd highly recommend it.
Oh, well,
experience that feeling of liberty and freedom.
Should try it, Moses.
Yeah.
Do you know how fast you'd move in the pool?
No.
About the same speed. But you'd do it without any body hair.
Can I jump the gun and ask another question?
Is this coming from you?
No. This is coming from Gerald from Cologne, another French gentleman. Okay. This is my favorite question. Is it true that people sometimes... This is his words. Is it true that people sometimes shit themselves doing deadlifts? I've never done any in the gym, only at home, because I'm afraid to discuss my gym crush.
Wait.
I'll read it again. Is it true that people sometimes shit themselves doing deadlifts? I've never done any in the gym, only at home.
Shits?
I think combos. Deadlift
shits.
Only at home because I'm afraid to discuss my gym crush. Valid question.
100%. That's exactly what we need more of, by the way.
Yeah, and it's stuff
for the viewers back at home.
We tossed and turned about for years.
That's why I've never done a deadlift.
because you don't want to discuss your gym crush.
Uh-huh.
I think it's important to clarify one thing, and there's been a saying floating around gyms for centuries, and that's...
Centuries?
Yeah. When it comes to deadlifts, if you're not farting, don't bother starting.
If you're not farting?
Yeah, don't bother starting. If you're not pushing yourselves until your bowels are releasing themselves...
Don't bother.
Don't bother. And I hate a fresh-smelling gym because I know that no one's pushing themselves.
I hate, walking in here.
But
cleaning products.
I wouldn't push it. I wouldn't push it to the next level and include sharding in your deadlift program.
You don't include it?
Because I've had girls try and impress me in the past and poo themselves wildly.
And you weren't impressed?
It did disgust me.
That's weird. Are
you being serious?
Yeah.
They deadlifted?
In front of, like, they said, hey, can you spot me? And then definitely pushed it so they sharded.
and they sharded?
So you were spotting them?
Yeah.
How, like, were you pressed up against their body so that you could feel the warmth of the shit?
Well, they made me
cup it.
And whilst impressed that they could push their bodies to that level, I was, at the end of the day, disgusted. So I would recommend not doing it.
Really, it's had the opposite. Yeah, because it's had the opposite effect on me in the past. If ever I've spotted a girl that's pushed a
dookie.
What? How do you spot a deadlift anyway?
I'll show you later.
It just looked like you were betting a girl over in the gym at one point. I'll tell you later.
Well, anyway, apparently you've done it. Continue.
No, I didn't spot them, but they pushed themselves so hard that they shat. But I was like, damn, like, that's kind of the level I wanted to be. I was almost jealous.
That's level 3.
Yeah, I didn't talk to him again, but it had nothing to do with that.
Yeah. Okay,
seriously, is there a chance of shooting yourself?
I'm sure there is.
I think you get to a high number on squats, in particular, and
Brock's definitely come close. Like he was sort of bowling it, coming it in and out.
Oh, don't be vulgar.
You were, weren't you?
No.
Doesn't want to say it on the line.
Next question.
Is that it? I've seen a picture of somebody's prolapsed anus from doing it.
Oh yeah.
I think that's a deadlift.
I think you've got two videos confused. I think you started on YouTube watching squat videos, and then you found yourself on RedTube watching prolapsing.
It's a real niche.
It's out there.
Whatever floats about. All right.
That wasn't a bad segment. Pretty good.
Wrap it up?
Yeah, we'll wrap that up.
Well then, and that wraps up episode 1. Again, if you'd like to take part in more future competitions or physique critiques, or have any burning questions
to ask us,
not about tanning, then feel free to head to morethanmuscle.com.au and we'll get around to as many as possible.